Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to Zandi. We are back again as a court of public opinion. We are here. It's been a short, long day, but it has been long, such that we've had to actually go on and be, as if we are doing proper cross-examination. But that being said, Emil,
yes,
how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Now I'll be good. I refuse.
You know that song at for those who forgive me, for those who do not know the Zulu part, ting telele no poison ngife. Oba senza megonke. There's a song like that. It was echoed by our beloved Zandi khumalo, but we are still coming today. By the way, Emily, let us rock and roll.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Zandi Reality YouTube channel. This train will not be stopped. This court of public opinion will not be stopped because people are suddenly not wanting cameras in their faces when they have to testify. You've been tweeting, you've been posting, girl, you've been doing your thing on social media, okay? And I remember some of the things where you are like, okay, we don't need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember there were things that were funny that were being done by this particular individual. And we were like, okay, we're not going to give, she's clearly cloud chasing. But I did not think that she would cloud chase at a time like this.
Okay.
That is what defeated me.
What makes you say she's cloud chasing?
Because moments after what happened in court happened, she posted on her social media again.
Yeah.
Forcing us ukuthi sikhulume ngaye singafuni. She posted herself drinking a drink in some restaurant. She posted herself wearing a fur coat. She's posting nje. You post ugela akunandaba nokuthi ifamily kaMeyiwa izizwa njani. She doesn't care about the feelings of the Meyiwa family, nor the feelings of the people that are sitting there as accused persons that have to prove themselves to the court that they do this or not. She doesn't care about that. She only cares about herself. And that is what's troubling me. And that is what is of concern. And the fact that our beloved judge is even entertaining this cloud chasing is very, very concerning.
So you think it's cloud chasing?
Just cloud chasing. Remember at a time when the case was intense last year, she did an interview with ENCA. That nobody asked for. She did it with a bold face and even implicated Senzo Meyiwa's wife in that interview, right? She was bold, she was brave, she felt like she needed to do it and she did it. And on top of that, she used advocate Zandi Mshololo's picture to promote her song.
Okay.
At a time.
Are you saying that, or you're saying you felt like that's
my opinion of her, and it will never change until she decides to respect the proceedings of the court and respect the families that are affected by this whole situation.
So in your thinking,
in my opinion, and it will never change until she decides to act like a better human being.
Yeah, and don't you think you're doing what she said she's afraid of?
No, what is she doing though? She's not camera shy. But what is she doing? What does she call what she's doing?
We are too emotional.
I'm not emotional.
Let us divorce your feelings.
I
first.
decided to put my feelings aside, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. This is cloud chasing at the highest level. She's forcing the whole of South Africa to know who she is at a moment that is not about her.
Okay.
She's forcing us to care.
Right. Okay, here's a picture for those who do not see the picture. The picture is just there in front of you. just today, and
ngoba sengizame konke ngitheleleni poison
ngoba
ngife
senzame konke ngitheleni poison ngife.
naze
She's basically
nakwata bo with laughing emojis. I mean, what is this? Lapho kusazoba.
You see, what you are doing, you are giving exactly what she wants, which is to provoke.
Then why is
Let
she
us
posting?
Let us divorce the feelings. Let us discuss these things without having the feelings involved. I know it's very hard, so I'm not gonna be subjected to such. I know people who are capable of making you do that. In my thinking and in my feeling is that, well, time is wasted while all this is happening.
But that's exactly what she wants.
Yes. That's exactly probably what she would like. But let us discuss what happened before we start venting. I don't like the style of venting and what is
I'm not venting, I'm stating facts. This is cloud chasing.
Let us discuss first what happened so that you can lay the basis.
The state's legal representatives briefed the media on special requests made by the state's next witness, who requested that their evidence is not carried live via audio or visuals. The state informed the media that the next witness in Senzo Meyiwa trial did not want any audio or visuals of her testimony. Her testimony or proceedings. Fearing being ridiculed, she doesn't even want to be live. Media was likely to bring lawyers to challenge this. Come on. Yeah, they were. And the media was working on getting legal representation on the back of the state's next witness media blackout request. So this was literally a media blackout request.
Yeah.
She was asking people to stop doing their jobs so that she can testify. This while legal teams were in chambers meeting with the judge on the issue. Now, the state submitted an application on the media blackout request. The next witness, that is what they were demanding.
Okay.
So, Advocate George Baloyi said the witness has objected to visual or audio of the proceedings up to this point. Proceedings have been live, and the witness doesn't want proceedings live. Baloyi then further said the witness is a well-known personality. She has to perform in public from time to time. If these proceedings are carried live, there's a possibility the public will form a perception and her life may be in danger. Abana, this is the one that I can't stand. Le ya life being in danger, le. Hi.
On what grounds are you saying you cannot stand it?
It was used also with Tumelo. And I did not see any proof prior that they're presenting to the court that their life has been in danger. When you want to prove to the court that your life has been in danger, you have a protection order or something of it, right?
Is that so?
Yes. In a case like this, you need to present your evidence that your life has been in danger because you posted on social media before. And yet she continues to do it. If her life is in danger, why does she look like she's enjoying it?
Why? Because she's writing on her Instagram.
Yes. About a public case. She's not only posting about herself, because when she posts about herself, we don't care. She posts about this case in particular and she talks about it. When she wants to be relevant, she brings up the name of Senzo Meyiwa in interviews.
You are throwing punches there.
No, I'm annoyed.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Divorce yourself because you're going to end up saying something stupid that is not supposed to be here. Divorce yourself from this. Let us discuss it like we normally do without you being annoyed.
So it's firstly about her safety. Advocate Baloyi reasoned. She's not prepared to testify if proceedings are carried live. She has no objection if journalists only sit in court and report on her testimony. So she only didn't mind if the journalists would write down what she was saying in her testimony or tweet about it.
Okay.
But she has a problem with the audio being recorded as well as the video of her face. She says live proceedings will bring her discomfort. Baloyi says the witness also had a problem that her evidence will be compared to that of other witnesses, subjected to intense scrutiny, and on social media that she may be subjected to ridicule and scorn. Baloyi says this would unsettle and hinder her to continue with her testimony. And I quote, this is what Baloyi said, "We submit that it is in the interest of justice that the witness is allowed to give evidence, but subject to her request." Baloyi secondly said if they are carried live, that could put her under pressure and make her uncomfortable. She's not prepared to give evidence if the evidence is carried live. She's not prepared to give evidence if her evidence is carried out. Does that sound like a command?
It is twisting in a nice way of saying it. It's twisting an arm in a sense to say that it's either or. Yes, it sounds like it's either my way or highway.
The witness also says her testimony will be criticized. She will be scorned on social media.
Yeah.
And this will come to her attention and it will unsettle and hinder her mom from continuing her testimony. Same way that maybe that interview she conducted last year could have hindered the feelings of Senzo Meyiwa's mother.
But the question now, what Mr. Afro is submitting is that should we therefore then judge on that and say, because then therefore? Is that how the law then works?
Because then therefore what?
Because you have done 1, 2, 3, therefore.
Or he was speaking with reference to the past because
it could be
Zandi
that has changed.
What would be the defense now? Because immediately after court, she posted 2 posts that were very shady. Then what is the defense now? It does still not apply. It doesn't.
So
she's special.
Let us read, in fact, what could, in a situation like this, be under South African law, the decision to allow or prohibit the live broadcasting of court proceeding is at the discretion of a presiding judge. The judge will take into account various factors, such as the nature of the case, the potential impact on parties involved, and the interest of justice. There have been several high-profile cases in South Africa where the broadcasting of court proceedings was prohibited. For example, in a trial of former President Jacob Zuma, the judge ruled that the trial should not be broadcasted live due to concerns about witnesses, intimidation, and the potential impact on the fairness of the trial. Similarly, in a trial of Dawan, I think, who was accused of arranging the demise of his wife, the judge ruled that the trial should not be broadcast live in order to protect the dignity and the privacy of the deceased. However, there have also been cases where the live broadcasting of proceeding has been allowed. For example, in an Oscar Pistorius trial, the judge allowed live broadcasting of the proceedings subject to certain conditions, such as the prohibition of broadcasting the testimonies of certain witnesses, which then, therefore, if you were to look at the previous cases, if the judge feels then that there is, in fact, threat or intimidation or prejudices, something like that.
Prejudices.
Yes, prejudices. I think that's my word, Emily, the one that was tongue-tied like yours. Basically, that's jurisdiction. Basically, that's what could happen. So we are at Mr. Afro's disgrace.
So we are literally at his mercy. Is that what you're trying to say? But he can't just.
Okay. Protected by the Constitution.
Those people that you have mentioned, my thing is that all of these people are not public figures.
Yes.
All of these people are private people. And them arguing what they were arguing was valid.
Yeah.
Okay, they did not, after 2 hours coming outside of a court, post pictures of themselves in fair and just saying whatever they were saying about the
ultimately,
case.
Whether or not live broadcasting is allowed in particular case will depend on the individual circumstances and the judge's assessment of the potential impact
So
on
his
the
assessment
administration
will
of the
tell
justice.
us what kind of a judge he is actually.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not against that. I will not I'll refuse that. We are at his mercy.
But it will also tell us what kind of a judge he really is.
But yeah, we are protected by the constitutional right of freedom of expression and the principles of open justice, which recognizes the importance of public scrutiny, which is us in this case and the rest of justice system. However, there are certain circumstances where the judge may restrict the media access to the court proceeding, even in the case of public interest.
Which
One
we've
such
seen.
circumstance is when the testimony of the public figure highlight that involves the sensitive or private information that could cause harm to their reputation. I think this is the argument that he was trying to make, because he said he's a public figure that performs for people.
No,
Or-
she performs at weddings actually. She's a wedding singer.
or violate their right to privacy. In such cases, the judge may order the media be excluded from certain parts of the proceedings, or restrict the publication of the certain information. This is known as close court or publication ban order. The decision is to grant a close court or public ban order is at the discretion of the presiding judge and will depend on the specific circumstances of the case. In making the decision, the judge will balance the public interest, which was argued by the advocate or lawyer that came. Will balance the public interest in an open justice against the public figure's right to privacy and reputation. The judge may also take into account previous rulings on a similar case and the principle of fairness and proportionality. So that there must be balance between the two. I don't know, man. Since we are saying that you don't regard her as a public figure, it is
No,
worth
she
noting
regards
that
herself as a public figure, which I have no problem with.
it is
But
worth.
is she a public figure? That will need to be.
It is
looked
it
into.
is worth, but if he's not a public figure, in fact, he has more right than to protect herself. If he excludes that part of the,
She made herself a public figure when she started discussing
do
merits
you
of
then
the
categorize
case.
her as a public figure?
Okay, I will have to now because she has been busy talking on interviews about this particular case.
It is not. It is worth noting that the closed court or publication ban orders are generally only granted in exceptional circumstances and are subject to strict condition and limitation. In a case where such orders are granted, the media may challenge the order in court or seek to have it modified or lifted. In this case, this is where we are. Continue then reading. I just wanted to clarify then with regards to public figure, what ought to happen. So this
No,
person is a public
if she
figure.
considers herself a public figure, who are we to say otherwise?
Let us hear the arguments of the prosecutor as you continue then taking us through this whole application or objection.
Well, the judge asked, you are saying at the same time she's a public figure, and then Baloyi said yes. Judge then said, meaning her face is already out there. Then Mshololo got up and said, yes, my lord. Baloyi said yes. She says as soon as she steps into the witness box, her evidence is not carried live. Baloyi is arguing that there's already intense interest in her evidence and that an elevated interest by virtue of having cameras during her evidence could inconvenience the witness. Baloyi then said the witness does not object to journalists being in the courtroom. Baloyi said her standpoint is if she has to testify in an open court where there is live proceedings, she may have to reconsider testifying in this matter. Advocate Zandi Mshololo said that she feels the application is directed to the media.
Yeah.
She was asking for a short adjournment to establish if there is a legal representative of the media.
Yes.
She said, we need to do this before we proceed. There was an adjournment to establish whether the media houses will be challenging the application or not, and the media was expected to make representation in response to the state's application. So after that short adjournment, the state says that it only received the witness requests late last night. So the state, in this incident, said that they received the request late last night.
Yes.
So this is Sunday. Was it Monday? No, today is Monday. So it was Sunday late. Okay? Mshololo is telling the court that the defense will respond to the state media blackout application while the media was sorting out its legal representation. So the request came through yesterday in the evening, and they didn't have time to inform everyone. The lawyer for accused 1 and 2, Sipho Ramosepele, said that the witness objection and reasons are flimsy. Ramosepele said she also says that she's a well-known personality and that her testimony will be under scrutiny. Everyone who has testified here has been under scrutiny, and I agree with that. Then she says if the visuals and audio is broadcast, she will not testify. My lord, we will not be held at ransom. But before he could finish, judge said that's not even an issue. The law will apply. Ramosepele said, we are not going to be held ransom by the witness. Ramosepele then said, my lord, we should perhaps just proceed on an audio basis because waiting for media lawyers would mean a wasted day, of which it kind of turned out that way, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a wasted day.
Then Advocate Mnisi stood up. He said, my lord, accused number 3 is telling me that he has a family who would have loved to be part of the proceedings here, but because of financial constraints, therefore the application not to broadcast the live proceedings or audio should be shut down. I think this is the premises of what we've been trying to communicate as Mzansi reality, that it seems like if you don't have money or access to resources, you cannot know what happens in the court.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any of these two things, you are put at a prejudice. Because can you imagine the families of the accused who can't make it to the court every day because of finances and resources that they may not have, transportation? They will not know what happened in the court for their loved ones to end up in the prison and end up getting more years.
Yes.
They will not know.
Yes.
So the people out there should be afforded the opportunity to follow the proceedings. It also comes to my mind, and this is from Advocate Mnisi, that the deceased has a family from KZN and the followers of Orlando Pirates. How can we forget the fans of Orlando Pirates would also like to know what is happening every step of the way? How do we forget about the fans of Orlando Pirates? Okay, some who still haven't recovered from losing Senzo Meyiwa to this day. So the order that there should not be an audio would infringe on their freedom of speech. On her own, she says she's a public figure. She's out there. As much as there were 2 witnesses who were in that house who testified here, she cannot be elevated to any position. That she should be treated especially should be disregarded. Let this case proceed in the same fashion as it has been. Audio and no visual. Look at them being so kind. They're just saying audio.
It is indeed being so kind, and I'll submit why. It was, in fact, some of it submitted in a sense, because even the issue of taking away visualization, it was dealt with hush-hush. If you now look at the depth in which you have to go through, the levels in which the judge had to go through in order for the judge to say that, therefore, this person is not supposed to be visualized.
Yes.
One of it was that really there was a threat that was being posed by such appearances.
Yes.
And there was no threat in any case. There was no threat.
It was just a blunder from the journalists, I think, in my opinion, that they followed Tutumelo all the way. That was a mistake. They shouldn't have done that. Because
where did they follow Tumelo to? Inside the court?
When he first arrived.
So that was a threat?
Well, Tumelo interpreted that as a threat, and they went with it. He interpreted it as such.
Now, this one wants to be taken pictures through the corridors.
Yeah, through the very same corridors that they barred the media from doing. They are not allowed to do that anymore.
So now
guys.
He's trapping them. She's trapping them. To say, hey, take... In fact, it's not a trap. 14, Bagwit. Take pictures.
She wants that... celebrity entrance, maybe.
Which she's not given in a case because of all these things that were taken away. She would have gotten it.
Yeah, she would have gotten that celebrity
but
entrance.
She's not getting it.
She was dressed for the part, you know.
And then she was not taking photos, so she had to go to her Instagram and show us how she dressed.
Yeah.
If that's how she was dressed, by the way. While we are at it, guys, I think the justice will be that you smash that like button for us and then you subscribe. And those who are willing and they feel that they need anything for us is acceptable, like liking, like subscribing, like commenting, anything. We want to communicate with you. We'll give you a chance of calling, definitely. Continue, Amen.
Then Advocate Mnisi said the family of the deceased are also following these proceedings. They want to know what happened. Even Orlando Pirates players want to know. Mnisi then said the witness says on her own she is a public figure. I am surprised now that she says she will be uncomfortable. Her reasons for her request to be treated special cannot hold. Let us proceed in the same way we did with the other witnesses. Then Advocate Zitulele Khumalo cited Section 16 subsection A. It guarantees everyone the freedom of expression as well as the freedom of the media to receive or impart information or ideas.
Yes.
All rights should be respected. The freedom of the press should also be respected. And Khumalo said that everyone has the right to receive information. Media are key agents to relay this information to the public, which is true. We wouldn't know as the public what is happening, what happened, if it wasn't for the media. Then Advocate Khumalo said the application is baseless and should be dismissed. We cannot be held to ransom by one person. The application of the witness is baseless and must be dismissed. So Mshololo, it was her chance now. Mshololo said this is an embarrassment to the South African justice system that at this stage of the trial, we are dealing with this kind of application. Advocate Mshololo says this matter should have been dealt with during the pre-trial preparation, stating that the state should have consulted with the witness to avoid such situations during the trial.
And then who else leads into the defense of that? It is Mr. Afro, who therefore says that is. What did he say? Are you saying that? I forgot what he said, but in a defense of Mr. Vaseline, it was more in a defense of Mr. Vaseline. But continue. I will find what he said.
We ought to have been informed much earlier about this request by the witness. Mshololo said we were never informed by this witness application. The state had the whole night. We are now being ambushed by the state. Why now? The state has had the whole night to prepare and we are being ambushed. Now, speaking on this ambush, do you guys remember a post that Zandi did sometime in November last year? I even posted it on the community tab where she said she had a dream that she would pull the stunt that she pulled today and she was going to be pulling it and she was convinced that the judge would side with her, in my opinion.
That's what
I
she
can
said.
read
She had a dream. Read it. I mean,
I can read it.
It was in a form of a dream. Whether it was anxiety or what, at the time when she decided to sangomarize on this issue that eventually has come to
This is
to
the
present.
post from the Instagram. Guys, if it's not appearing on the screen, you can see it on the community tab. I posted it this morning.
Yeah.
She said, after work, this was 22nd of November, 2022.
Yeah.
After work, I had a late afternoon nap and had a dream where we, as a family, had decided ukuthi we don't want any media present in court when we testify. Not even our voices should be heard. Angisho sinamanga, so we don't want to waste any more of the people's time since guilty. So we rather testify to the court alone since they are the only ones who haven't found us guilty. And the court said granted. My biggest fear is that my dreams always come true. Tata wena girl. Anyway, I see again, I'm a poopo. I'm up now. Tea time in the garden before reading Zenalas, his bedtime story. Yes, that was the post that she left as a clue for us that she is a prophet and she knew that today was going to take place. But for Advocate Mushololo to say that it's an ambush, it is an ambush, in my opinion. Because why are the defense attorneys as well as the media given less than 24 hours to come up with counter arguments? You know? That could have went sideways if there was only one lawyer like we had in the situation of Titi Tobani and Advocate Mushololo, just the two of them. I mean, this would have went down not so pleasant, because where did they get the time to prepare to counter argue all of this? Everything had to be done in a rush. Advocate Mushololo said Zandi Khumalo participated and got paid from the Netflix documentary. But today she's saying she will suffer prejudice when she has already put herself out there without any limitations. Well, this is the part that I'm not sure of, the Netflix documentary part, because on the documentary, the first one, I don't remember her being interviewed or anything like that.
Yeah, they use the videos.
They used the videos.
Yes, I guess this,
which were coming from public
This was in
broadcasters.
reference, no, which brings us to the issue of Netflix, by the way, because we must not discard Netflix to that point, because what therefore happens if the media is not allowed to facilitate such is then Netflix or 1010 films going to remain there and capture that moment.
Because I didn't see their lawyer.
If they have signed then the documents that are saying that they will feature on the next document that is coming, probably that might come part 2 if it's existing, they must capture such moments. Maybe would it be far-fetched to argue that, or to even think that perhaps there is a correlation to say that let us limit the access to this information so that when we come with it, it becomes exclusive. I'm just asking, because I don't see them partaking in that, not unless maybe I missed it when the advocate says he was representing certain medias, that I missed the 1010 films and whatnot. But for now, can we exclude it that perhaps this is one way of maybe this so-called a contract, if it does exist?
Because this is very interesting. Sometime last year, while the case was still on, Musa Kaula, while he was still on Twitter, had tweeted that they had allegedly received, Kedi Khumalo and Zandi Le Khumalo had allegedly received 5 million from Netflix to shoot the second part of the documentary, to tell their side of the story. So I don't know how true that is. We're still waiting to find if it's confirmed or not confirmed. But if that is the case, then Mr. Anonymous, you're simply asking that could there be a reason why she's asking for all of this? Maybe it's for exclusivity.
Yes, it's for exclusivity of
because
the
we didn't even
itself.
see the legal representative for 1010 Films. So where were they? Aren't they bothered by this? Because they're also in the court, right? They were never booted out.
Not unless then we're still going to see an additional lawyer or even this one expanding the clients.
Expanding the clientele and telling us that they are also representing 1010 Films because 1010 Films is too quiet. It's too quiet.
Where does this put them? I mean, they are an independent publishing, right?
Yeah.
Films or whatever that they are.
Yeah.
So where does it put them?
It puts them under media as well.
So why are they not tempted to move swiftly and do things in cohesion with what is currently happening?
You know, they are too quiet, man. I wasn't expecting the silence from them. But anyway, Mshololo said the concern the public witness raises about public comments on her testimony that has no adverse effect on this court. This court is not bound by public critics or comment, which is true. We are bound by the evidence in this court, which is true. So much so that they've even excluded those Metro FM interviews, those ENCA interviews that they've been doing all of these years, which I feel, in my personal opinion, they should form part of their testimonies. I feel like they should be included, okay? But they are not. So much so that even Tumelo disregarded everything he said in the documentary and went with a different version in court. So this advocate Mshololo had a point here. So that this court is not bound by public critics or comment. We're bound by the evidence in this court.
But did you see how rebuffed she was when she opted to go to that direction?
I did.
Now, does that then sort of limit us into a certain scope? That
How so?
We will have to look at whatever that is submitted by this witness who's a public figure to say, okay, if she feels in danger, she's in danger. If we're going to exclude then such things where she's expressing herself in a manner that is seemingly going in a direction where things are sort of predetermined in a sense, shouldn't that be worrying a court to say that when you said 1, 2, 3, yes, it was in your private space, but it was published.
It was in public.
No, they always call it their own space. When they want to.
In public.
But it was in public. Aren't you maybe taking this court for a ride? I mean, it seems as if you already had a clue that you didn't want
to show your face
or to be heard. Why then did you not submit that in time with Mr. Baloyi? And then if then the problem is with Mr. Baloyi, let us deal with Mr. Baloyi, who set on this information, if anything, if there was anything like that. If that was not the case, then let us deal with a person who's, in this case, the person who's applying, the person of interest. We cannot exclude such words.
No.
Because my question to you, Emily, if we're capable of excluding such as a High Court of Pretoria, if we're capable of excluding such, let me ask you something. What would be the procedure if someone out of these people went online and said, I am responsible for Senzo's demise? Would we still exclude that process?
It looks like in this court it will be excluded as long as it's not in the statement or in the witness's testimony under oath. No, it's not counted.
So you see now, it goes back to one of the interviews that you were telling me about, where the states or might be actually on a direction of trying to make sure that there is someone, just for the sake of someone, being then arrested. Whether it was right or wrong for us to arrest that person, it doesn't matter. What matters the most is that someone is held accountable for whether they did that thing or not. We do not care; it's immaterial. If we can prove in court that they did it, even if it means that we have to exclude certain things, that might actually turn us otherwise or the other way around. That's my worry with this law process. That is my worry.
troubling.
It is troubling.
It is.
It is troubling.
That shouldn't it matter that the right person who did the crime
Is arrested.
is the one
Yes.
that was in trial?
Yes.
Or it just matters to just get a person? Which one is it?
Because so many questions that are not answered as yet as we proceed with this case. Accused number 3 and 4 and 5.
Yes.
Nothing is not answered. And I don't think it will be answered anytime soon.
No.
We should be just farting in a hope that someone smells that thing.
They are not placed. We've had how many witnesses thus far? I think 3 or 4.
We are basically dealing with accused number 1 and 2.
It's accused 1 and 2. And again, when you look at them,
which makes last time we were not happy about Mshololo, but now that you think about it, which makes the issue of Mshololo actually even when he had to cross-examine,
yeah, that's
to
why
be so
she was not like chilled.
Isn't it? Because nothing as yet is
Our
putting
client is not
the client
placed
except the
there.
people. So the link is between, if these people admitted that we did it when they were done whatever that it was done to them as they allege, therefore the link is through them.
Our client is not placed there, so she's gonna defend as she should defend. She's not gonna go all in because my client is not placed on that scene.
Only placed by the people through the, what is it? Was it the testimony?
Yes, and those witnesses are
No, it's not the witnesses.
who placed the.
Isn't it the
three?
people that were caught first?
Who were caught first? Accused 1 and 2.
1 and 2, yes.
Did
Isn't
they
it-
even place them there?
Isn't it 1 called 2 in a sense like that? Isn't
Or
it
they
how-
called each other?
Yeah, isn't it the case built like that?
I don't know about that. I don't know. So Mshololo said the witness speaks about personal safety. And she said, my safety has been compromised too as counsel here, but I'm continuing with this trial. This is not a person who is foreign to media language, but is a fan of media usage. She has been posting about this trial on her social media, which is true. She says she is bringing this for her safety. Our lives have been compromised by the broadcasting, but we have allowed it to continue because we respect the court order. And yes, it's true. The lawyers are not public figures. You understand?
Yeah.
Even the accused are not public figures, but their faces are shown like in jail. You understand?
In Jalinda.
So Mshololo then said, we are seized with the crucial duties of determining who killed Senzo Meyiwa, and now we are confronted with this application. Don't grant this application, my lord. Then Mshololo continued to say we should continue with this witness the same way we did with the others. She has been posting herself on social media. Mshololo said, I have been posted on Instagram by this very same witness. If I were to consider the personal safety of this witness isolation, what about the safety of other people, including other people like myself, by this witness? And yes, she's not alone. In the interview that she was conducting on a public platform with ENCA, she was calling out Senzo Meyiwa's wife. She was calling out Senzo Meyiwa's mother. In fact, asking why are they not investigated? Remember that.
Yeah, we remember that.
Yes. So if she can do that for others and then come and make such a request, post Advocate Mshololo on social media, and then come forth and make such a request. Well, the court adjourned, waiting for the media lawyer. And after the long adjournment, then Rosengarten
Let us adjourn.
was in court
Let us adjourn also. Can we?
representing the media.
Before you go to that part, Emil, can I please request that we press that like button? We are on 536 people. We only have 100 and something. Before we continue, let us request that people please subscribe and like the video. Because if we just continue, and we might get tired because of just replicate the energy we have. Yes, today it was a bad day. You might even forget liking.
It was a not too nice day.
But not
today.
all is lost.
Today, Aishem, yeah, it was very depressing.
It is just a wind. Let us not allow that wind to wind us down.
So Dan Rosengarten was in court representing the media in response to the state witness request to have the live broadcast of her testimony not carried. The media's lawyer, Dan Rosengarten, introduced himself, and he made reference to the suggestion that the state file heads by 4 p.m. today and the defense and media file answering affidavits by 4 p.m. tomorrow. Rosengarten pointed out how he has limited time to listen to all arguments made. Can you imagine, like, this man was probably having lunch. Can you imagine the office of SABC is where Auckland Park?
Yes.
He probably has an office there. I'm not saying I know for a fact. I'm alleging that he has an office in the SABC. He had to drive all the way to the High Court in Pretoria in a rush. Like, for someone who did not prepare, I have to give it to him. I don't think he had enough time to prepare. Do you understand what I'm saying? But he showed up.
Yes.
He showed up. So Rosengarten highlighted the importance of open justice. Rosengarten made reference to the Oscar Pistorius matter as well. Rosengarten said that he will file his heads of argument in response to the application. He argued that in the interest of the open justice principle, people who would have loved to be part of the proceedings would be prejudiced by the ban on live broadcasts of the proceedings.
Sorry, Amen. Zita, I think. Can you read for me? They are saying screen is black, which could not be the case because I can see. Remember, on my side. So if you are saying the screen is black, please don't forget to like. Have you liked? Maybe that's why the screen is black. Just press that like button, and then you see the screen will be fine. Because everything is fine on my side. I know that for sure that you are getting the video properly, and then maybe refresh your cache on the site and then come back again. You should be fine. Continue.
Rosengarten argued that cognizance must be given to the fact that there has been no evidence from this witness and no justification has been made. Rosengarten says, without dwelling on the past, the witness has previously proven she's not camera shy.
Yes.
And that cameras don't bother her. And that she's regarding her safety. She's actively tweeting now, which I feel like what he should have said was she's actively posting.
Yeah. So my worry with what Miss Khumalo is saying, Mrs. something, I don't know, the guy who's married. We don't even want to bring the man here.
No, he has nothing to do with this.
My worry is that you want the journalists to take pictures of where you are, timestamp, where you are and all that. Because, if Griselda, for example, take a picture, we know he is in Senzo's case. So you do not care of your whereabouts, yet you are worried about your safety.
She wants that moment of entering court with the cameras. But she doesn't want her testimony to be heard.
Is it a problem of wishing to be like your siblings? This is me. I'm just generally saying. Me wishing to be my siblings or to be like my sibling. The problem is that you end up mimicking even negative things. That's my opinion, obviously. It is my opinion. You end up mimicking even negative things. Not all publicity, what would they say?
Not all publicity is good publicity.
Yes. But not all publicity is also bad publicity. Yes. All of it can be good or bad. Depends on how you say it. The master of this thing of dealing with publicity, whether negative or positive, is that I've seen so far is it was, I would say it was, because recently she's quiet, Mihlali.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Spinning
She has
a narrative.
spinned
She's
not
really
the
good.
narrative per se, but spinning the whole whatever that is said
To
about her
benefit
her.
It's
That
true.
yeah.
She's really good at that.
So for me, this is what is happening currently.
Even at some point, her sister was good at that too. We have to give it to her.
Yes, that's why I'm saying, in my feeling, I feel like a younger sister who always looked up to the bigger sister, and always wanted to be like a bigger sister. Perhaps some of the things that she's now doing, she thinks might be doing her a favor. But I don't think this is actually doing that.
This is not working.
Not in particular. Because
Timing
your
is
sister
everything.
is singing. We cannot run away from that.
She's gifted.
It's like a brother of Messi. There is Lionel Messi, and then there is a brother of Messi who is existing, by the way. We hardly know about the guy. We only see him on Messi's documentary. Accept that secondary position when it comes to that. You can never be Messi. There's only one Messi, even from the same father, the same mother, but there's only one Messi.
It's true.
That's why they must take certain position. One must manage that Messi, that goal. You can only get one goal at a time.
It's true.
Not if not unless you are a specialist in finding special stones. But if you happen to bump into one goal, it becomes just one goal. That's it. So Messi is Messi. Kelly can sing. We cannot run away from that. She can sing.
Yes.
Whether you can sing or not, it's a question of, I don't know. Someone can say, yeah, she's good. Someone can say, but for Kelly, I think most of us would agree to say that Kelly can sing.
That we cannot take away from
We cannot take that
It's
away
her
from
talent.
her. It's her talent. But hence everything she tends, even if it's bad publicity, she still goes and sing and make it look like it's any other day. But you on the other side, how are you going to come back from this? Because because you had to align it with the case.
Wafaka nomshololo.
Nomshololo.
It wasn't organic like it is with your sister. You had to force it ngofaka umshololo to do marketing for you.
So I don't know. Perhaps you have a way around this.
Maybe there's a plan that
Maybe
we are
there's
not
a
aware
plan.
of.
But in my own feeling, a person who's got a family now, a new family that you have created, you should have just went in and just testify. However, if you're gonna get roasted, get out,
Move on. Utumelo ufigile, umthoko ufigile, we've moved on. Now you are doing
have
all of this.
Yeah, you are putting all the heat on you. For what?
I don't understand.
For what?
I don't understand. So Rosengarten said that the submission that the cameras would make her uncomfortable must be dismissed because she has on her own violation made media statements, which is true, and has publicly spoken about the matter, which is true. If the witness is unwilling to give evidence, should the court not accede to her demands, as stated during the application submission by the state, Rosengarten said that the court should simply consider this and subpoena her.
Yes, she will be subpoenaed. And Slu Khumalo, thank you for your donation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We thank you.
So the court should use the least restrictive approach in dealing with this matter. Rosengarten said that the witness has not demonstrated any prejudice or that such prejudice would occur and that the submission is mere conjecture. So Rosengarten said the conclusion from that is that open justice is more than keeping the doors of the court unlocked, but that proceedings should be accessible. The state and the defense will file their heads of argument and the issue will be dealt with on Wednesday. Court adjourned it will adjourn until Wednesday. Proceedings are adjourned until Wednesday, the 17th of May. The state will submit their heads of argument. So will the defense, and the arguments will be heard on Wednesday. So Judge Shipiwa Maumela is expected to make a ruling.
Yeah. So Pam, Solomon. Yeah, Solomon. Even the sister said that on her reality show. Did she? I don't watch the reality show.
Me too. What did she say, Solomon?
That
Can you be
the
more
sister is
specific?
trying to be her. I think I heard that. I remember that part.
It would make sense, all of this behavior. It's like she wants this moment to be hers for her to shine. It's very weird.
Yeah.
And her sister, I remember in the documentary, the Netflix documentary, the author of Kelly's book, do you remember what she said when she said she saw Kelly appearing in court at the time of Jub's case in a fur coat, and she was so upset, and she was like, why are you wearing that fur coat? It looks so insensitive. You know, and that was the time it was very rough for her sister, but the cameras were always on her, and it's something for her that happens naturally, but in this case it seems like Zandi is forcing it, you know. It's really feeling forced. It's not something that's organic, that as it should be.
Yeah.
So she could have a point. I mean, I also have a younger sister, and sometimes we have we have such incidences. We do.
Right. Just before we go further, Emily, I would like to. There's a case in particular that was caught there. The case of Van Breda, something like that. The case was
Van Breda.
Van Breda. The case was a high-profile murder demise trial in South Africa, in which Henry Van Breda was accused of demising his parents and brother and attempting to demise his sister. The trial received extensive media coverage, both in South Africa and international. Due to sensationality nature of the case during the trial, the media was allowed to attend the proceedings and report on the evidence presented in court. However, there were restrictions on the media's reporting of a certain aspects of the case, particularly regarding the testimony of a certain witness. For example, the media was allowed to attend the proceedings and report on the evidence. For example, the judge ordered the publication ban on the identity of the first witness who testified in the trial, who was a minor at the time of the demise.
Okay, that makes sense.
The judge also prohibited the media from publishing the identity of the witness who was testifying via video link from Australia, as well as certain details of their testimony that could identify them. In addition, the judge ordered that the media not publish any photograph of the crime scene, which were considered too graphic and potentially prejudicially to accuse the right to the fair trial. The judge also prohibited the media from interviewing potential witnesses during the trial. Overall, the media coverage of Van Breda case was largely balanced and responsible, with the most media outlets respecting the court restriction on reporting. However, there were some instances where the media's reporting was criticized for sensationalizing the case and potentially prejudices the accused the rights to a fair trial. I mean, media will always be blamed at some point.
Yeah.
They're
not allowed to have opinions.
Their job is always be in between. Yeah, so we understand
but
that.
Listen to these people that were applying for this, and listen to their reasons.
They had grounds.
Valid reasons.
The other one ran away, was in Australia.
Yeah, it was in Australia.
So what was hidden in that process was
His
what
location.
could identify their location. So
and who
anything,
they are.
yes. If you are saying that you are unknown, in which in this case you are already kind of aware who's this person. So if you were saying, no, I want to be unknown. So if I know that only Emily knows 1, 2, 3
about me.
Yes.
And you are the accused.
Yes. Now you could hide those things because they could help you actually put 2 and 2 together. So whatever that, you will still say those things, but behind the scenes.
Yes, and you have to note also there's nowhere where it's mentioned where their audios were cut off. There's nowhere it's mentioned where the broadcasting of what they testified audioally or in a voice manner was cut short. The only part they took out is the part that could help in the accused identifying their identity.
A map of where they are.
Yes, and where they are. And the other one was a minor at the time of the incident, which makes sense.
Yes.
So, what is drumming gaga?
So basically,
the lawyers go
look,
through.
the according in my conclusion, there is no grounds for this thing to stand. There is not even a leg for this thing to stand.
Could this be a way of buying time?
For me, that looks like buying time. If this thing was in Cape Town, for example, if this case was in Cape Town,
presided
even
Cape
today
Town.
we would have answers.
Yeah, it's true. Cape Town by Shesha.
Even today we would have answers.
Cape Town, they.
But this is Joburg. This is Pretoria, and I guess it's a different ball game. So, in my own opinion, I mean this would doesn't even need a much of consideration. You just need from the submission, if you combine these things, tomorrow you should be coming and ruling and saying that, okay, if you want to take it further, and then with that, you should also be putting a condition like they're doing. They're twisting your arm as a judge. You should say that if Miss does not want to testify, then I would have to subpoena you. Yes, you'll be subpoenaed.
You were in the house.
You are of the interest here. So I would have to subpoena you.
Finish.
Then having to look at all these directions, not unless you tell me that you need more time.
If you need more time, you need more time.
You already have time, considering that we have a new interpreter that takes ages to, you know how I watched this case?
Mr. Interpreter, you need to work on your way of...
No, this is his way. What I like about him, if he could be fast, what I like about him is that he does not break, say, okay, stop there.
Stop there, let me
I like that about
part.
him. But if he can just remove, maybe it's because he's still new, man. He's still gonna get chosen. If he can just remove and then the lot of as, and then also remove saying one word in two different ways, English maybe and Zulu. That's what is making him to be long. And then maybe try to have that fast forward. 1.5 is the speed that you could be using so that you are faster. You know, not all of us are fast. Even Vaselina is slow for me. Yeah, even Mr. Afro himself is very slow.
Let's open the line.
So Principal is telling Neil Tove. No, this is not Neil Tove. This is Rudy Kroll. Those who know Rudy Kroll, the former coach of Orlando Pirates that took treble back to back, he looks like him.
Oh. You're talking about that?
Yes.
Okay,
I guess we have names here. So the lines are open, guys.
Now you can call in and vent Mtagabau.
But be mindful. Be mindful.
All the views and opinions expressed on Zandi Reality are not that of the hosts, as well as not that of they do not represent that of Zandi Reality, the channel. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's Zandi Reality, the channel, and then there's the hosts, there's Emily, there's Mr. Anonymous, and then there's our callers. Okay, their views and opinions are not that of Zandi Reality. I'm gonna need to put that disclaimer out there because I know a lot of people, are upset today.
Zandi Reality, hello.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'm good, and yourself?
We are good. We are giving 1.5 minutes.
I'll be shorter than that.
Okay.
So, my take is that firstly, with all these witnesses,
Yes.
I don't know if you guys did have a sense, but they are not behaving like witnesses. For instance, for me, they were all victims in that house.
Yes.
And for them not to boldly stand in front of the court and in front of the public to say, we were attacked by these people and we are victims. So for me, how they are acting, it's very fishy.
Yes.
Because they are not portraying themselves as victims. And then with this last one, the sister, she's trying to spin this thing to be about her and to try to raise, this awareness because she's trying to make it in this entertainment industry.
Yes.
She knows that she's not the one that pulled the trigger, so maybe hence she's doing all the theatricals and trying to bring all the attention to her and posting and obviously everyone will want to go to her Instagram and Twitter and just to check it out, and she's gonna get more views and so forth. So so I think the best thing really, if she doesn't want to come, she needs to be subpoenaed, but they are really, really acting as if something happened in that house, and as a victim you don't behave in that way.
No, thank you very much. And indeed, that's like you are reading, because in my thinking is that, it's not me who did it in any case, or something like that, but I'm just going to put it like that. That's going to be my position.
Yeah, let me leave it at that, guys, and give others a chance. Good evening.
Thank you. Evening. Yeah. So, we all feel like it's cloud chasing, right?
Yes, it is.
It looks like that.
It is cloud chasing. Funa udumo, funa fame, funa abantu bayothenga ikhwela or whatever she's doing. I don't understand it. But it says, look at me, go to my Instagram. As the caller was saying, go to my Instagram, check me out on social media, because I'm the talk of the day. It's given that. Which is
a rare publicity that she would get actually. Mzansi Reality, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Let me switch off this side so I don't get distracted. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm okay. Maybe how are you?
I'm well, and yourself? Thank you for asking.
I'm great. Just a quick one. It's very, very disturbing. My name is Amukelan, Canadian Media. It's quite disturbing how our judiciary system is considering the fact that we're 10 years down the line, almost, and we still have somebody who wants to boost their social media likes and views and all of that. It's very displeasing. Number two, the manner, there's no sense of agency. The state received the message that I will have these restrictions a night prior. Never mind how late that the communication was sent. Now, you're not even bothering to, or you just overlooking your learned friends to inform them at least. It's rather best that advocating children or whoever the defense is will say, I only received the email or saw the email this morning, but it was rather sent last night, immediately when the state received the message. So it goes without saying that there's a buying time technique. She's contradicting herself by saying, I don't want to be seen, or rather, I do not want to be live while I'm giving my testimony. All of a sudden, why is your testimony super special? Meanwhile, when you go for Netflix where you were paid money, it was not even coming up with restriction. Do you mean to suggest that now we should furthermore spend more money as a state, which it has been gone beyond the exhaustion, that we should pay you in order for you to actually give the testimony? If so be the case, why didn't she actually outline all of restrictions the time she was informed that she would be part of the witnesses? So I personally feel like, more especially when I put myself, not emotionalizing the situation, putting myself in a place of Senzo's family right now, and they get to see what is basically happening, the delay tactic, and we're having somebody who's after appearing probably in court with restriction and having issues that she doesn't want to be shown in public. She's in public posting, having a good time. What sort of conduct is that?
Hey, it's out of line.
And I suppose maybe Mr. Afro has tolerated this ugly behavior that you give witnesses pleasures to dictate the manner in how they want to give they want to give their testimony. So I won't be surprised tomorrow when somebody says, before I'm served with coffee and whatnot, I'm not giving my testimony and stuff like that. So it's disturbing, and I fully concur with Emily. The beginning of the show, she was, looking all emotional. I fully concur, because now it's not only the side of the witnesses that we should now consider. Where does it put us, an ordinary person, if ever you not money in South Africa, and then you find yourself? So it can be in a situation whereby you have logged for years, or probably even something that you should never done, if ever you see such conduct happening and see the thing.
Yes.
So I don't know, but I really want to appreciate that channel. Big ups, and I personally am learning a lot out of this channel, and to realize that so I really appreciate the amount of hard work, the athletic service that you are outlining and showing. It goes without saying, and we really respect the amount of time that you put towards this channel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you doing the great work, and have a lovely evening. Let me give the others.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
My apologies for my emotions at the beginning. But yeah, it is what it is. We are here. Okay, this is what it is. And can you imagine Usfiso and Umama Kasenzo where they are now? Like, this is unbelievable. It's been 9 years of wanting answers. And umuntu yafika and just post the stunt. It's unbelievable.
You've been doing a stance. She's been actually mooring stance after stance. Like,
and she's
it seems as if it will take long for me to come back. Zanzi Reality, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm all right. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, good. You can shoot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from my side, guys, is the way I see things now is because number one, there was the first witness that they are sending. Kwabana West 2, they are pagatently. So now the problem is, who the second witness? Bafunde ama statement of Era Kelly, Bafunde statement Saga Zandi. So everyone they are involved.
Yeah.
So now, Zandi, obviously, no Kelly, they are in trouble because the first and second witness, everybody pagatending, but kuluma something different. So there's no way angafika afuna change everything and abe against the two witnesses laba already sebalapha.
Yes.
So she knows ukuthi if ever ngeke kube na camera, ngeke kube na sound, there's nobody la yophuma outside amjudge. Now if I was straight with okay, but when now you said you were ubamba makhatches ngwele boshaya, but someone uthi kwenzeke so uthi ngalo, then how is she going to answer it?
Hey.
So Zandi uKelly even nalo mama wabo ngibo laba problem in manje. And it's obvious because they are following the case. They know ukuthi okay bafundile ama statement wabo and babuzile the first witness and the second witness. So that means boKelly ama statement abo, that means bachaza kuthini ama statement abo Kelly amanga. Obviously lo lokuqeda ukuphuma uchaza lokho makathi uzofika sikhulume, that means the statement sakho amanga.
Yeah.
So ngiyo into engicabangayo manje ukuthi okay base problem in manje, so uyacabanga ukuthi kuba phambi kwe camera akhulume umhlaba wonke uzwe.
Yes.
It's a problem now.
Yes. That is the problem.
So ngeke ngifuna ukuyisho nje.
Hayi, sibonga kakhulu uhlabe khona mfethu. Thank you very much.
So
Yeah.
Yo.
Well, wouldn't you be afraid if you find out that there's a lot of contradictions? And you are a public figure, by the way.
No,
Wouldn't
but
you?
If you've contradicted yourself, it's the reason why you shouldn't be discussing the case in the media to begin with.
Yes.
You should be saying no comment. This is what you should have been doing for the past 9 years. But you just couldn't help yourself. You just couldn't. Now we are here.
Silala's corner, mash.
Now we are here.
We are
And
here.
you should consider it grace, actually, because in other countries, they would have subpoenaed those interviews.
Yes, they would. In fact, they can even now, if they want to.
So you are just pushing the limits. You're just doing everything you can.
Because what we are literally saying, they must also play dirty. I mean, you are playing dirty. You are
Yeah,
wasting
you're
their
wasting
time.
their time.
Zanzi Reality, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Ngikhona ninjani budi? Anonymous no Emily.
Skona, January.
Ngikhona uThandi.
Yeah, what's on?
Hi, Tandi.
Yebo, yazini.
Hey.
Le kaZandi iyangidina. Zandi, ngiyazi ukuthi ubhekile because wena uthanda social media. Ufuna ukwazi ukuthi sikhuluma ngani. Stop it. Just stop it lezi zinto zenzayo.
Exactly.
Udonsisa icase ukuthi bende engafanelanga ibende kangaka. If unazi into enayenza endlini, just said what you said on the statement. Yekela le nonsense yakho lokhu sisale nali. Nawe Mr. Vaseline uyadina because uthatha izinto and then uzenze ezakho ukuthi wena uza ngoba ngathi uyiboss lapha ecourt ndawe wenza ngakhona seriously. Uza so prepared, uze se prepared ukuthi labana they won't say nothing. And uhambe wrong because I'm so happy with those advocates because they're working work basebenza bonke. Nalesilungu lesiyahlupha ngesinye isikhathi. And so really I'm happy they look ngane objection yabo dawe benze ngakhona. Labantu bakwa khumalo exactly the same lento uKhela yenza ayeweza ne lawyer ezofuna i-statement. I think ibaza nama drama all the time. I don't know ukuthi fanele kubukwe bona. And if belokhu ngana bathi bako ama public figures, what about uSenzo? He was a public figure too.
Yes.
Kunabantu bebefollow ama footsteps kaSenzo.
Yes.
And then they were cut it short.
Yes.
But she wants to come out on the cameras, but notice totally audio ukuthi silokhu simgxeka. Fanele simgxeke umuntu mekhuluma into ezi wrong eziphambanisa yena.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this allegedly. Ebheka uthwala yena uzothi ukhohlwe yonke into. Ulongwe because he was on drugs or whatever. Izothi ingqondo ihambile. Thulu zokuswa. Thank you very much. Let's leave it for others, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's leave it.
Good. Have a good evening.
Yeah, allegedly.
Sharp.
Bye.
Allegedly, guys. Allegedly.
We don't know. We don't want anything.
We don't even know
Who is who in this room?
Hey, ziyakhala phela lapha.
Yeah, so uthi usizwe hey. Some of these things cannot be read. The people have spoken. This is us. The people have spoken. Just get on with it, case, and stop entertaining this. Yeah, whatever. The wait. You know the wait.
I just feel like, wow, I don't know. But there was really no need to have a 2-day postponement over this. I mean, like I did.
Look at these people.
Like
Prince Boy, you want everyone. Prince Boy is saying, I wish Rudy Kroll can represent one of these accused, but he won't come cheap. Yeah, I know. It's not, the fact that he's representing, but also, I think it's specializing on what is it that is, because he's fighting for the media to be present in court. It's not criminal law. It should be.
It's more like company law.
Yeah, it's more on the company law side.
Or entertainment
law, something like that. It should be around along those lines.
He was ready. It was like he knew about
No, it's
this.
you know why? It's experience, comes with experience. You know the cases by head because you have been dealing with such things. People and he dealt with it previously. That's why he's even now saying that we have to deal with it generally, so that if the other one, the older one, comes also, and the seniors come with the same tendency, we deal with such issues.
Hi. Now I would have stretched it. Now I'm petty like that. I would have been, now that you mention it, maybe the interviews you've been conducting over the 9 years should be brought as part of your testimony. It's about that.
But you must have an angle of it. You can't just subpoena something. You must submit why you think it must be brought in.
Yeah, because it's with regard to your testimony that you made under oath.
Zanzi Reality, hello.
Hello, Buddha. How are you?
Hey, we are good, and you?
I'm all right, man. It's Longi from PA. I just want to comment on the issue of Zandi.
Yeah.
If you remember last week, with the issue of with the bail hearing of Umakutuma and Nandipa.
Yeah.
The stance that the lawyers Nandipa pulled. I think that created an impression that Zandi might also win if Naisha pulls the same stance. I think that's what gave them the idea in one another. Okay, let's also do this. Because if she wanted to do this all along, she would have informed Baloyi well in advance, because she's been singing, she's ready, she wants a day in court. But now the day is coming, or the day is near, or it was the night before the day that she needs to appear in court, she comes up with the stance. And also, I'm not happy with the judge.
Yeah.
There was a time when one of the defense advocates entered Netflix, and the judge just comes in and says, maybe she learned from it. We don't know. Maybe it had adverse effects on her. But how can you witness before you witness is given an opportunity to speak for themselves? How can you preempt what the witness might say in response to what the advocate is saying? That is not, it was not the mandate of the judge.
Hasn't this judge been doing that?
Exactly.
He's been doing it consistently without fail.
He has been doing, and he's wrong. And he's exposing himself as a judge of the High Court. His conduct is just not right. I was very impressed with Mshololo, because I'm not a fan of Mshololo. Because Musho normally people likes to fly solo. So I was expecting her to come up and say, because I know she doesn't like the media. But hey, deliberations were proper and were on point. I was very happy about what she said. And this girl must come because now she's busy on Instagram. She opened her Instagram and she wants people to follow her so that people can comment. It's true what someone had said. She's just creating a cloud. She's trying to make her famous out of this case. And this case is very serious. Because till now we are still heartbroken in our sense. And they are just trying to make themselves famous about this thing. It's not right. She must just come when we are ready for her.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was my 2 cents. Anyway, thank you very much for the program. I always look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I agree with the caller 100%.
Oh, well.
She took my words.
Yeah.
And even with that whole, but we've been complaining. I mean, it's like he's the witness, this judge. It's like he was there. He's in the thoughts of the witnesses, in their spirits, mind, body, and soul.
He just preempts everything that they are going to say. And they end up saying it eventually. My worry is that I don't know what procedure is
like
this, but
he's their lawyer.
Yeah. In fact, sometimes I feel like he objects for them.
Yeah, on their behalf.
And once he's the one who objects, well, we are not going to win that thing.
Yeah, already you are biased. Already, just wait for my day of
once
judgment.
he says no to that thing, after feeling like he objected on you, you must just forget. And we know what I like about these lawyers. This one,
yes,
they have learned that once this man objects and preempt on behalf of someone, just go past that thing because some of them they even say it for the sake of progress.
We are going to learn.
Not to say that we are right, your Lord, for the sake of progress.
For the sake of progress.
Let's just proceed.
Pretty soon.
But I want to know the Netflix position on this thing, actually. I do, because it's very funny that, in fact, it's worrying if that happened. Now, think of it this way. If really there is some finances that were happening between these people, could it be these finances that are making these people arrogant? To say that now we can even take you further down the ropes. We don't mind, we can take you down the ropes. Why is Netflix coming and financing at a time of such importance? If really there's some money that has been exchanged that is helping these people, we couldn't you have waited for the case to conclude, and then you come? You want to interfere along the line. Well, would you do that in America, in fact?
No.
Or you are just doing it because this is South Africa?
No. There's no way.
I've never seen Netflix doing that. Unless then someone can point me into a direction where court proceedings are still on and Netflix is shooting at the same time.
Which is a private.
This is a mockery
company.
of our democratic right if this thing is happening. This is a mockery of our constitution. Such that then money, we are driven by money. If money comes, then we will break anything.
Maybe this case is showing us that, perhaps, that money.
This is where I don't like being a vacuum of capitalism. Where anyone who wants to practice capitalism at its best and democracy of some sort, which is, I mean, at some point we need to expand on that democracy thing. You look at these companies, they are involved. Netflix, G4S, all these companies are international companies that seem to ignore what exactly should happen when it should happen at the right time.
Yes.
If really, I'm not saying that they did it, but it has been since spoken about in court. If really they are doing it, then it should be something that we should look at. Because if we are talking about freedom, it should apply to everyone who comes to South Africa. To say that if we are going to do something that is out of line, that is seeks to undermine the people of that country, then we are not going to entertain you. You are not here to invest. You can go with your money.
La, this is not like that in South Africa. South Africa,
It's all about money, yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
you bring me money, that's it.
and the stakeholders will protect their money. So when you can just somar.
But I'm saying this, if indeed that it happened like that. In fact, I'm even worried that they are in the court proceedings and dealing with the issues just because they throw some. It goes back to that thing that this is not our laws. This is not our laws. They know how to come and maneuver around these laws.
Yes, they
This
know
is
them
wrong.
very well. Every angle, every loophole.
This is wrong.
It's their laws.
Our laws should not be such that people come in and feel easily acquainted with. They feel like they can just, they haven't even moved the country.
For profit.
Take, for example, to countries like big countries, other countries like Uganda, Guinea, countries like that. I don't think you'd go and apply the same law that we apply in South Africa. You would have to adhere to their roots to understand their laws. But in South Africa, without a waste of time, in fact, you can bring a lawyer from America and he will come and represent you here properly, with no doubt. Poke the holes and get out of the country.
I was hoping that would receive Zandi defendists. I'm waiting for that call. Mangbona ngilinde kanjena.
There's no one.
I
going
want
to
to
come.
hear. How are you going to defend this one?
Mzansi Reality, hello.
Mr. Anonymous, kunjani?
Sikona seunjani?
Right. Nakuni email ni right?
Hi, siyaphila.
Thanks. You know what I'm thinking? The witness, I think by the time a poster on social media, like esibonakalisa ukuthi ready for the case. That time he bengayazi ukuthi uTumelo no lo mfo lothwala ukuthi statements zabo o ubungcina babo ecourt buzawuba ngolo hlobo. Dinento ethi ngoku into ebangela ukuthi atshintshe angafuni kwa uvela, it's because of ezawucontradicta the witness, the evidence ngoku eziswa nguTumelo nothwala.
Yes.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's anyway ndicinga ukuthi even her sister nomama abo definitely shonabo le nto ayicelayo ngokwecourt uba mayenzeke akayiceleli yena yedwa. I think bonke ngoku bazawufuna uhamba la route. Yabo, because of the evidence ngoku ezishwe nguTumelo nothwala. Okunye Mr. Anonymous endibawela ukwazi safe kangakanani la eplatformini nge-comment?
You're safe.
Like siyala siyathi secret comments and stuff.
In terms of comment, you are safe. In terms of calling, you are safe. You shouldn't be worried about that. You are protected by us. In fact, we are mandated to protect you in that manner. Other than that, I mean, that's it. As long as we have people here, most of you, we don't know you face to face. So it would be, I think, a hassle if someone was to try to pick a person here. You can say what you need to say
And
the way
you're
you're
not
saying.
forced to disclose
You
your
are not forced
identity.
also to disclose your name and all that. You can use a fake name. It doesn't matter. all that we are saying is that, I mean, at the end of the day, there are people who are okay with their names being specified, and they say them themselves. We are safe in a sense.
Okay, no thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Siyabonga mfowethu.
Manika banye bhuti.
Yebo mfowethu. Yeah.
worried about safety.
Hey, worried about
Imagine me. Imagine I. You know when I first started.
Let us just not say it. Let us just continue.
Okay.
I know why I'm specifically not saying it, and let us just continue. Because I'm running away from something that, once you start talking about certain things, you are planting certain things to people. Yeah.
True.
So, guys, I think on my side, it has been a great night and an early night for me. Emily, I still need to travel, and it's raining, by the way.
Cold.
And we're on load shedding. We're on rollouts. They would put it.
Blackouts.
Loading blackouts. That's it. Solution. Nah. If you look at the history of this case, it was doomed before it started. Because for 375 to exist, it was because this case, in the eyes of people who were working it and who, according to them, were genuine. Yeah. They felt that this case is compromised.
Yeah.
Now the question remains, who determined that 375 that was born because of this case flopping in the eyes of the people who were creating it? They said, no, this case is not what we are looking for.
They said it doesn't
have merits. It's not going to stand. And really, other than the time that we are wasting in court, this case, it doesn't take you to be a master student of law or doctorate or whatsoever. It is just doesn't have it. It doesn't have what it takes to stand.
True. And
the question is, when we go to the, I'm sorry, I'm just going to give you a chance now. When you go back to the issue of money wastage, that person must be answerable. The person who said this, then 375 should stand. You can continue.
Answer. Truly, they must answer. It's true. Because, wow, so many contradictions for so many witnesses. We haven't even started with accused 3, 4, and 5. They are not placed.
And for this case to be debunked, it's because of 375. All the statements that are coming, mostly
the defense attorneys are using
375
statements.
And credit to Tifo. We are not giving that man the bells that he deserves, because he fought this battle of bringing a bit of 375 for this case to look like this mediocre as it is now. It looks to me like a mediocre case.
How were they going to defend? How was the defense going to defend?
Without those statements from 375, if they were held, how were they going to stand and defend? The people that today we say, hey, Nisi was key. Black Mamba was key today.
How were they going to do their jobs?
Was key today. How were they going to do their jobs if there was no such thing?
We need to ask
because remember, there was a
that.
long debate that some of you and some of us clever blacks were saying that, no, man, Tifo is wasting time. We said that. Some of you said that.
A lot. We were getting backlash. Backlash was galore during that time, and people were saying that Tifo is crazy.
And now, seemingly, Tifo is getting justified again in saying that this case should be closed. He repeatedly said that in court, and the judge wanted to eat him alive at the time. When he said that, he wanted to eat him alive. Now we are saying it as a public, that this case is bogus, according to me.
For me, it's a definite red flag that the defense could only bring contradictions via 375 statements. You are telling me there's nothing in 363 that they could have used to debunk whatever was happening or pick up a contradiction in that docket specifically? Something is not right there. Without 375, they were not going to be able to defend their clients. Can you imagine?
And I'm not saying that D4 didn't do anything wrong. Probably a lot of things. But all I'm saying, without that, Zanzi reality, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Anonymous.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
We are all good.
Good evening, Emily.
Hi.
Yeah. No, I just want to comment about our defense. They are giving us hope because they are working together. They look like a unit. Yeah, which is very much promising, especially in this case. People united shall never be defeated.
Yeah.
However, I didn't like the part that Advocate Sharolo did what? Mentioned that Zandi had posted her, and she one could assume that she's now going to be harsh on her. She was not supposed to bring that out. She needed a bit of politics there to just say, yeah, we have been posted as well on social media and so forth. There was no need for her really to point out that the same witness. Yeah, maybe she just needed to cover it up and just grill her when she comes to the stand. Then no one will even assume there's a personal thing and so forth.
But do you agree that it's wrong to post somebody without their permission?
Of course, it's wrong, but you know this like just like how she put it, these are special witnesses, something that we have never seen.
Do you know that at the time there was actually assumptions or speculations that were forming that why would she post Advocate Msholo? She was compromising Advocate Msholo. Why shouldn't she be upset about that?
Obviously, that's why I'm saying. They seem to not be, like my other colleague was putting it. They seem to not be victims now. These people, because if Emily, if you were involved in a certain incident and you know of your innocence, you won't even, something like media or being visual or audible, it's something that you even consider last. You go there and clear your name.
True.
You go there with the straight face, you clear your name. You don't even have, because you know there is no repercussion that will come after you.
Maybe
but anyway,
is clearing her name.
Say again?
Perhaps Advocate Mshololo is also clearing her name, making it clear that I'm not affiliated with this person.
No, I'm not against Miss. Advocate Mshololo. I just want to, for the sake of progress, like always, and for the sake of not going to be seen being harsh for a certain reason on her. She needed to just be like, yes. You remember when you are in court, especially when you are an advocate or whether you're a judge, you are not like those cheap people. Those are cheap people, even if they are calling themselves celebrity or public figures. They are cheap people. They are not professionals. You as a professional, you act like, oh no, they are just kids. Don't run about. So She just needed to show that class, and that's why I'm saying a bit of politics. In politics, we don't do that. You don't attack people. You don't even reveal something. If you hide it, you act as if
That was not an attack.
everything is fine, like a bombshell was. But deep down, you know where you are going to tackle from.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me give a chance to others, and yeah, that was just my opinion.
Thank you for calling. Thank you.
Right.
You're welcome, Emily and Mr. Anonymous. Good.
Okay.
Different angle.
Yeah, you are right. I just didn't want to interject. You are right. Mzansi Reality, hello. That is being baited. Mzansi Reality, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Anonymous.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. I just want to comment, right? The previous caller, I want to city and advocate Mshololo, like she wasn't supposed to be having a manner she did. But look, that other time, losses law post on Instagram. Do you know what everybody thought maybe what advocate Mshololo with a brown envelope that is doing the rounds, the way she did it, and the way the society was looking at advocate Mshololo. Mina, I believe which she was right to do what she did, right?
No,
so
she was,
like
she was
even
not right according to law.
According to law.
Yes.
Okay, according to law, we might say she was not right, but like, look, the impression that was there in the public, you know, the talk that was there on social media, but like, what's going on with Mshololo and Zandi, you know?
You see why I said.
But anyway,
you see why I said earlier to Emily that she must divorce emotions, because emotions will make you do things that are out of line. And you can easily get a red card out of that. Because now
I get you.
They can take that position of Mshololo being personal other than to serve the law. They can actually take it there. The same way that Mr. Zuma and Billy Downer is going down this day from High Court to this court, even if you overrule it. But the truth of the matter is that there's personal interest there. And once there's personal interest, then it sort of removes the rest from. Now we are no longer dealing with law itself. We are dealing with someone who's vindictive.
Right, I get you. But then again, she withdrew after the judge intervened, right? She did that. But anyway, like, we just want to know what happened. And Linda Payana, we want justice for Senzo. Like, the family needs that. Like, everybody needs that. You know, like, I was just listening to an interview. There are 3 lawyers, Umachavu and what's the other name? And some other 2 guys. I can't really recall their names. Like, they were all saying, good to know, like, this request, like, it's absurd because it infringes on freedom of information. The public needs to know what's happening in the courts. The public needs to know what happened to Usenzo. Usenzo was like a national asset. Like, everybody, there is so much interest in this case. So, like, everybody is just staring at that judge ukuthi uzoyirula kanjani in the case. So, like, one of the lawyers said, like, ukuthi, the way he sees it, he thinks ukuthi, you know, this case, the people, the accused guys, like, there will be no, like, it will be a not guilty ruling, and everything is overvalue in the case if things are going the way they are. But I feel like, I think the judges must also take into account the length of the time, take into account the feelings of the family, especially Umaga Senzo. I always think of that woman, Umaga Senzo. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, we hear you. We hear you. But, I mean, as much as we say that we need to as much as I always say this, as much as we feel personal, sometimes we need to divorce ourselves from this. The witness may make a complaint to a relevant provincial law society, which has the authority to investigate the allegation of misconduct against lawyers. If the law society finds that the lawyer has breached the professional obligation, it may take disciplinary action against that lawyer, such as reprimand, suspension, or disbarment.
No. I don't agree with that approach because, first of all, Advocate Mshololo did not attack her.
Mzansi Reality, hello. I'll answer you, Emil. Mzansi Reality, hello.
Yes, hello, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Good evening to you, Mr. Anonymous and
I'm
MD.
good, yes.
I was a little bit hot, but I've just tried to cool down myself.
Good.
I want to come to a point of, I think, what has made this girl to change her mind. It might be one of the statements that Advocate Mshololo picked up last week, which I think it is in that folder of 375, where it says it was Longwe and her girlfriend who was fighting. And then Senzo was between them trying to separate them. Maybe that's why she's scared now.
Okay.
Because now it means in that folder, the truth is coming out. I don't think they expected that folder to appear anyway. Now it has come out, they are going to dance. That's what I think. And now that those folders are already there, or those files, they won't have any chance of taking them out. We want the truth.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
And for Advocate Mshololo to be annoyed or to be whatever type of attitude that she had, she was right. These lawyers, they study, they go through each and every word. And in the morning, very early in the morning, everything is put down. That we can't continue like this. We have to do like this. This is a court. It's for everybody. We were also ready for listening. So you cannot just say because of one person, this cannot happen. This cannot be done. I think the judge himself is very weak. At what age do they go on retirement?
The normal age.
What normal age? 75?
65 or something?
For males, is 65.
I don't think this judge is quick enough, because I don't think this was supposed to take the whole day to be postponed. He would have stopped it immediately. It's already late for it now to be intervened.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get
That's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
And now that we have got statements from 375, more statements are coming out from the people who were in the house.
Yes. In fact.
Okay, then. Thank you very much, Emily. Thank you very much, Ms. Anonymous. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
So, Emily, my submission to you was that Mshololo was assisting a judge to reach into a conclusion. In that submission, along those submissions, there is an issue of fair treatment. So if your submission now is accompanied by emotions,
oh my God,
do we still have fair treatment?
With women, you are always going to take that route. She withdrew. And on top of that, I don't regard what she was saying about herself being posted by this person on social media as an attack. It's not an attack, it's a fact.
Yes, it's not an attack. I'm saying, in fact, I don't even know why it might not sound like an attack to you, but someone who's in this position might use it. Someone who's in this position. Because it's no longer fair treatment. If this person
How
says,
is it not fair? She's the one who posted her without her permission on her social media.
She did. When as your profession of who practices law.
She did not go via the corners privately to address her. She addressed her in a court.
And then eventually
letting her know that you did this,
eventually
and now
she
you're
gave,
coming here.
Eventually she gave what? a conclusion that the Lord should throw this thing out of court, right?
But they all did. They all did.
Yes,
Even
they all
Gamusipile
did.
said,
They all
this
did.
is flimsy.
Yes, they all did, but without having to attach the personal things that happened on the underside. They all did. That's what I'm trying to show you. They all did, but there is no attachment of what happens outside. He's right. As much as we are saying the caller was right. That's what I'm trying to arrive into. The caller was right. In fact, he understands politics. Because he's trying.
This is not politics. It's
law is all about politics. Law is all about politics. That's why many lawyers are politicians. It's not by mistake. Once you disassociate the two, then you are in a lost career. Law is not your thing. You need to be associated with lawyers, with politicians. Don't you think this case is more political than anything now?
Therefore has been saying that.
Don't you think, because Defo understands, don't you think this case is more now political than anything? So if you are going to dissociate the two, you are not going to properly represent the person you need to represent. You need to understand the politics dynamics of the case itself before you go study the case.
It is a fact that she used to back up her arguments. Too bad it's personal. But it had to be brought up.
That's why he had to retract it and say no. And it's
but
correct.
It needed to be brought up so that she stops with that. Okay.
Did it help? Because now we are under your Honor's discretion. Did it help? And your Honor is the one who said, do we have to go there?
Well, that's why she withdrew. She had to withdraw the statement. But I personally don't think she's wrong for bringing it up.
No, I'm not. You make me seem like I love what Msholo did today. I was happy initially when he brought it up because I was also annoyed. But after
clearing the air, because speculations were there.
After thinking for a while, I was like, Yazin. Actually, now that he brought it up, I'm like, yeah, we are right, actually. We are right. We are right, in a sense. So, before we throw stones to these people who come here and give, they are right. Yes, I told you when we started this, emotions will take over. But you must be able to divorce them so that you can see what is happening. Otherwise, then we are like anyone else who's ranting about the case. Emotional damage. Guys, I think that is it. Thank you very much for being with us. Yeah, today was emotional, well. Sihambe sixabene studio, siyaxabana manje ngenxa whatever that is happening. Icon. Now, I'm happy that Msholo brought that thing. I was very happy. I was even celebrating. I jumped when he did that. In fact, I jumped. I was like, yes, tell her when I get. Eventually, I was like,
Let's leave Msholo. Provided that Zandi had this dream 5 months ago. Yeah.
Is it 5 months ago?
Yeah, November. And we didn't know who the next witness was. I remember we even played a guessing game here on the channel. Right. And I strongly at the time felt like it was going to be her because of that specific post. You know? So do you think there was a change of plan somewhere?
Mm-hmm. I did say that
allegedly, just
Togo
maybe.
for me was not supposed to be the second witness from Dumi.
It's giving that.
Yeah, I did say that.
It's giving. Perhaps she was the next witness. Who knows? Allegedly.
Good night.
Well, let's close this live broadcast, guys. We'll talk again tomorrow because I think they're going to be presenting their arguments, right?
No, I was confused. I was even
Advocate
confused.
Baloy is going to be counteracting what they've brought as
No,
arguments.
they are going to submit heads of argument.
Okay.
And then they will deal with this issue on Wednesday. I don't know.
On Wednesday, it's a ruling.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait. Okay. So when on Wednesday?
What if they throw you guys out with your media? What
that
is your
would
hope?
not be
Are you gonna
wise.
go there and
They'll probably stop me because they'll recognize who I am. I'd need to send somebody. I don't think they're gonna allow me to get in that courtroom. Honestly speaking.
I'm going in.
They'll be like, hey, where?
I'm going
You
in.
look familiar.
I'm going in. They won't notice me. Now you see why I don't have to show my face.
Yeah, Mr. Anonymous will have to go because when you look familiar, so I don't think they'll allow me to go inside.
All right. No, cool, guys. It's a bye from me. Thank you very much for subscribing. And those who are still watching, please like the video and subscribe and join us. Some of you have put you on a timeout. You were talking about things that are not aligning with the community of ours. Thank you very much.
Community guidelines.
Yes.
So time out means you can come back. It just time out.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.